Hello and welcome to your GMan Season 15 Div 4H Matches of the Week recap for Week 9. I'm your host Lord Sigmund. Let's have a look at the matches from this week. So, first up was the High Barnet Raiders at Logic 88's Lizardmen versus Masakre's Empress Chosen Human team. A 1-0 win to the Lizardmen here. A correct prediction from me. Not a very bashy game at all, only 9 AV breaks each. If we have a look at the statistics, the Lizard Men had 75% possession, so I'm guessing they caged a lot and the humans managed to screen them mostly successfully. And the humans only have 6% possession in the Lizard half, so I'm guessing their drive didn't go very far. So, if we have a look at the game, the Lizards chose to receive, the humans induced a Wizard, which rolled a 1 for the Lightning Bolt on turn 11 and did nothing, so unfortunately for them that was a waste of money. The Lizards retrieve the ball and injure a Blitzer with their first Blitz. The humans respond by screening up on the side of the pitch where they've committed to. Then they spend the next 3 turns moving back and forth from the side to the centre and back before running the ball carrier into the human half with a bit of support, but no cage, on turn 5. The humans mark up the ball carrier and the Lizard run for the end zone is foiled when the ball carrier fails its dodge away, on turn 6. See, they tried to clear it away a bit. And he dodges straight past a human player and fails the dodge. The humans mark up the ball carrier. The humans retrieve the ball and pass it through the Lizard line to run it down the opposing half undefended. It is in range of a couple of skinks though. I know 1 dice block Blitz sacks it and the Lizards catch the bounce. But with only 1 turn left to score and no one in range, that ends the first half 0-0. In the second half, unluckily for the humans, the Lizards get a perfect defence and kick the ball right to the human end zone. The humans send 2 players for the ball, but the rest get wrapped up by the Lizardmen players on the line of scrimmage, who just start to beat them up. The Lizards move down to pressure the ball carrier after a bit of sacking back and forth, get the ball safe on turn 12, then cage out up and stall out for the turn 16 touchdown, winning 1-0 with 5 humans and 9 Lizards left on the pitch. The humans had some bad luck, but I think if at the start of the second half they moved back to try and better protect the ball carrier rather than blitz and block, they'd have stood a better chance. Lizards are fast and underestimate that at your peril. The Lizards were able to wrap the line of scrimmage humans and separate them from the ball carrier players, which was the end of the human offense really. Next we have Zoomnigs Lulfraganga's Norse team versus Cthulhu War Beasts, the Orcs. This was a 1-0 win to the Norse. Incorrect prediction from me. I thought it'd be a draw, but I did say the Norse would have the edge, and it wasn't a big win. If you have a look at the stats though, the injury stats and the possession stats definitely favour the Norse team. Let's see what happened. So, the Orcs choose to receive, get the ball and cage up in their half on turn 1. The Norse end 2 turns in a row because of the Yeti. Turn 1 it fails its wild animal row for the Blitz, and on the second turn it makes the Blitz but rolls both down and knocks itself over. The Orcs don't immediately take advantage though, and the cage stays put on the line of scrimmage until turn 5 when they finally take a run down the flank. The Norse mark up all of the Orcs who push forward through though, and get the ball carrier marked up with a blodge step runner. So you can see the Orcs have pushed down the flank here. The Norse clear out all opposition to them getting some players over towards the ball carrying Orcs. And then the blodge stepping runner comes through to blitz. Knocks down the screener right next to the ball carrier and marks up the ball carrier. The Orcs were unable to shake any of those marks though on turn 6, and the Norse respond by sacking the ball carrier and retrieving it on their turn 6. A subsequent Orc turnover from the Troll failing a block means the Norse can get their ball carrier free on turn 7, but it's a bit too late and they're not able to get anyone in scoring range, merely stopping the Orc offense and not scoring themselves. So the first half ends 0-0 like the first game. The second half starts with 9 players on each side, and the Orcs even get a blitz. but they don't really do anything with it, and the Norse are able to cage up with no problem. The Orcs wrap the cage, but some clever blocks mean the Norse ball carrying runner, who has plus agility, is able to get into scoring range on turn 10, with 2+ dodges and 2 go for it's. They have to blitz backwards to be safe on turn 11, but again do 2 go for it's to put them out of harm's way, and 1 step away from the end zone. The Orcs try to pressure, but the Norse again use go for it's to maintain the stall. Very lucky with those go for it rolls, and push a load of other players down from the line of scrimmage to support the ball carrier, which lets them stall out till turn 16, winning the game 1-0. Let's have a look at the dice roll for go for it's for the Ulfagangers. Yeah, success 8, failed 4, so 66% success rate. The Orcs actually did better with 12 to 0, so can't really complain about too much bad luck there. I'm trying and failing to play Orcs myself in the Grog and Bones Blood Bowl League at the moment, and I can sympathise with Cthulhu Collector here, as it does seem that once they get marked up, there's little an Orc team can do to escape if they can't bash the opponents into the floor, and they got out-bashed by the Claw Mighty Blow on the Norse team here, with 4 removals to 2 at the end of the game. Next up was my matchup, my Bowie's Boyos against Black Creek Buccaneers, coached by Maiden Maniac. Oh, another very depressing game for me. Coming off the Chaos team making half my positionals miss this game and creating my TV last week, I induced a Wizard, Prince Moranian, and 2 Bloodwiser Babes, and the Dark Elves chose to receive. For the first 3 turns, the Dark Elves carried the ball upfield in a loose cage while I tried to harass it and screen. At the end of their turn 3, it's just inside my half, and I go for the Wizard plus Agility 5 Blitzer retrieval play, as I've got a catcher in scoring range if I wanted to risk the 2 go for it's. I make the Lightning Bolt 2+, and then I make 3 2+ dodges once I've done some moving here. So I take my Blitzer at the bottom. I should have probably marked the ball with that blitz that I moved in at the top. So the AG5 guy comes in, makes 3 2+ dodges without needing to use the dodge skill, but then I depressingly failed the 2+ pickup with a reroll. If I'd been successful, another 2+ dodges, another 2 2+ dodges, both with the dodge reroll and a 2+ catch with a catch reroll would have been enough to most likely get the touchdown. But Snake Eyes followed my attempt on that turn. The Dark Elves get the ball back on their turn, and I have, on my turn, I've got yet another attempt to get the ball, as it's not very well screened. I mark up and sack the ball carrier. Mark up with the kicker. Move some other players in. And then my AG5 Blitz, who's on the floor, comes around for the sack. Makes the sack. The ball scatters out favourably. And then I come down with my Movement 9 Blitzer to try and pick it up. And once again, I fail the pickup. Slippy hands failing my team. And that sees the end of my chances to score for the rest of the match, as the armour rolls start failing me from here onwards. That Movement 9 Guard Blitzer being the first casualty when he gets blitzed on the next turn by the Mighty Blow Dark Elf Blitzer. The Dark Elves get the ball back then and successfully stall out for a turn 8 touchdown. And then with my 1 turn attempt fails because Prince Moranian fails to roll a push and knocks his opponent over. The second half starts with 10 Pro Elves versus 11 Dark Elves, so I've not got outbashed too much at this point, but that ends with this half. I cage up my ball just behind my line of scrimmage, and I spend turns 9 to 12 trying to find a gap to move my cage into. The Dark Elves screen too well though, and my armour starts to fail a lot to that Mighty Blow Blitzer I mentioned before. 3 knocked out Pro Elves by turn 12 lead me to a bit of a desperate run into the Dark Elf half with minimal support, and the Dark Elves get the sack, along with 2 other casualties on their turn 12. Including my second blitzer, and retrieve the ball with their strength 4 runner, which proves unassailable for the rest of the match. My remaining 6 elves are unable to stop the 10 dark elves from running down the pitch and scoring again on turn 15 for the 2-0 win. I did get the MVP on a lineman that skilled up from it though, giving me the dirty player lineman that I've been after for a while, so it's not all doom and gloom, but I think my run of wins is definitely over. I've got a lot of more scary teams coming up in the weeks ahead. Next up, we have the Chaos Black Nightmares, Michaela's Chaos team versus the Jurassic Sparks Oaxa's Lizardmen. Another correct prediction for me. 3-1 so far. The Chaos team only broke armor 9 times from 46 successful blocks, but got 4 knockouts, 3 casualties, and 1 kill from it. In comparison, the Lizardmen had 75 successful blocks and only broke armor 1 more time, 10 times, and only got 3 knockouts and an injury. Thankfully for them, their running game was superior as they won 2-1. The Lizardmen induce Silly Billy and choose to receive. They cage the ball up and spend the first 3 turns bashing on the line of scrimmage, trying to find a gap in the Chaos defense. The Chaos make a valiant attempt at breaking the cage, but they don't get the ball carrier, and the Lizards manage to recover. On turn 4, they mark up all the Chaos players that they can find, bash a little hole in the Chaos defense, Strength 4 doing them a lot of help here. Strength 4 in good positioning, good guard players. And after making the hole, they run the ball carrying skink right through the enemy defences to what looks like a relatively safe position. Using a couple of go-for-its to get off the edge. Unfortunately for them though, the Chaos make a dodge with the only player in range, the prone Chaos Warrior with Mighty Blow and Claw, but fails to row a POW on a or a both down on a rerolled 2 dice block, and the skink sidesteps 1 space closer to victory. On turn 5, the Lizards are slightly more successful when they knock out that Chaos Warrior with their own Mighty Blow player. They then position themselves well to stall out until turn 7, when they go 1-0 up. The Chaos try to equalise in their remaining 2 turns, but the ball carrier is left undefended and gets sacked by skinks, ending the first half 1-0 to Lizards with both teams at full strength. The second half starts with the Chaos caging up right on the line of scrimmage behind their Minotaur. They then repeat the first half in the other direction, with their cage moving back and forth till an open flex found on turn 13, and then make a push with 3 players. The Lizards, however, put up a bit of a better defence to the Chaos team, but they are unable to sack the ball-carrying warrior, who blitzes out of a tight wrapping by 3 Lizard players on turn 17 for the equalising touchdown. With 2 turns left to win and down 1 player, it looks tricky for the Lizards, but a caught high kick right behind the line of scrimmage is a good start for them. 2 go-for-its let them cage the ball up against the side of the pitch behind a Saurus and another skink, and while the Chaos sack that Saurus and screen off the space in front of it, the space to the side is opened by a Lizard blitz, allowing a handoff to the caging skink behind and a go-for-it for the winning turn 16 touchdown. A 2-1 win to the Jurassic Sparks. The Chaos team do get the MVP on the Minotaur though, taking over 76 SPP for a skill up, and we'll see what that is later. Next up we have the Patchy Pack, the Lovely Fools Necromantic team versus Agora's Warriors, Massey Sally's Orcs. Another correct prediction for me, but unfortunately this was a bit of a boring game. They can't all be winners though. The Patchy Pack won the dice roll. The Patchy Pack won the game, but the Orcs outbashed them a bit. The possession stats show that they never got the ball out of their own half though. Quite even though on ball possession, neither player holding it for very long. The Necros choose to receive, but the Orcs get a perfect defence. The Necros play it safe and spend the first 3 turns keeping the ball back safe before making a push forward with a bit of a screen on turn 4. The Orcs blitz through the screen and mark the ball carrier up on twice though on their turn 4, so on the next turn the Necros knock down a lot of those Orcs and take the ball back into their own half. On turn 5, the Orcs, even though the ball's been pulled back to safety, the Orcs manage to dodge with a blitzer to sack the ball carrier regardless. But they don't attempt to pick it up, and only mark it up with a couple of players, and some clever blocks from the Necros and some pushes take the Orcs who are marking it away from it in turn 6, allowing the Necromantics to pick it up and run it down the field on a wolf, out of sack range of any Orc players, managing to stall out for the turn 8 touchdown, ending the first half 1-0 to the Necros. Not a lot happens in the second half. The first 4 turns are spent with the Orc cage on the line of scrimmage and the Necros trying to break it. On turn 13 they finally get a blitz on the ball carrier, but fail a subsequent pickup, having burned a reroll on the blitz. They make the pickup on turn 14, but the Orcs get the sack on the next turn and the pickup, and the game ends quickly after that with a failed dodge from the wolf going for the sack blitz. So the Necromantics only manage the 1-0 win here. Now the next Necromantic game is a different story. This one, Gimlick's Swedish Forest Wolves beat Pylon's Highwaymen 4-1. Another correct prediction. It was an absolute massacre of the Highwaymen by all accounts. 4 touchdowns, 5 casualties and 2 kills for the Necromantics, as well as 4 knockouts and 62% possession rate, compared to 2 knockouts and 25% possession for the High Elves. The High Elves induced Eldril Sidewinder, the Hypnotic Gaze Elf, and 2 babes, and the Necromantics choose to receive. They then fail their first 2 turns picking up with the Sure Hands Ghoul, letting the Elves who'd run into the Necromantic half blitz the Ghoul away and score the first touchdown, 1-0 up to the Elves to start. On turn 2, the Necromantics get their first kill, a line of scrimmage loner lineman on turn 3, and manage to pick up this time. Their second kill comes on the next turn, a rookie catcher, and they cage the ball up on the line of scrimmage. A failed elf dodge let the cage run down the field on turn 5, and they scored the equaliser with little opposition on turn 6, with only 9 elves left on the pitch. The return elf offence sees a successful Hypnotic Gaze, allowing a blitz on the Ghoul, who's hiding at the back of the Necromantic line, knocking it out, and a caged up blitzer with the ball breaks through the Necromantic defensive line. Unfortunately, the back 2 members of the cage are marking up other Necromantic players, so on turn 17 the Necromantics can easily break the cage, sack the ball carrier, and pick the ball up with a white, while also having a moved wolf down a pitch into scoring range. So start this turn with the ball on the white. So the elves mark up the wolf and the ball carrier, as well as screening a bit, but with some good blocks and a blitz to free the scoring wolf. We'll see in a second. Yeah, so the Necromantics clear out all the marking and screening high elves that they can. Making space for the white to get through. And then they blitz the high elf off the wolf in scoring range before running the ball carrier out and down the pitch. They make the 3+ pass. And then they make the 2+ catch with a reroll. Letting them score the second touchdown before half-time, going up 2-1. The second half starts with 8 elves left, and the elves run a blitzer into the Necromantic elf end zone, after blitzing 3 of the defenders. The ball-carrying catcher then makes the 3+ pass to them, but unlike the Necros in the last half, the elves fail the 2+ catch with a reroll. 2+ fail solidarity, brother. The ball scatters right back up to the Necromantic players too, who pick it up and cage it up on turn 10, also knocking out Eldril with a foul, at which point the elves just give up, shout nope, and move their remaining 5 standing players as far away from the opponents as they can. The Necromantics get their 3rd touchdown on turn 13 after using the opportunity to hand off to a Flesh Golem who was on 15 skill points. 3-1 to the Necros. On the final drive, the elves try to repeat how they started the previous drive, but fail the pass from the picking up elf to the central catcher this time, needing and failing to get a 3+ on a reroll. This leaves an easy path for Necromantics to get the fumble ball, and we get a final touchdown on turn 15 to end the game 4-1 to the Swedish Forest Wolves, as the High Elves don't attempt a 1-turn touchdown on their final turn. Lastly, we have the Apocalypse of Death, King Kills Chaos Team versus Cranky Goblin Sewer Kings. Now, I would call this my match of the week. I wasn't expecting to say that, and it wasn't for anything that the Chaos Team did, even though they won the game. This is an excellent example of gutter runner bullshit that you will ever see. So, more casualties, another correct prediction for me, more casualties and removal in this game than the previous game, but luckily for Cranky Goblin, all 6 of the casualties were badly hurt. So I thought I got lucky with missing net games for my game, but no, he got a load of badly hurts, so lucky bugger. The Chaos also got 5 KOs on top of that, and I can tell you at the end of the game there were 3 rats on the pitch. The rats induce a Wizard and Glart Smashrip Jr., a player I've never seen before. He's got Strength, Floor, and Claw, and Block, and Juggernaut, I think, yep. And the Chaos choose to receive in the pouring rain. The Chaos team cage up on the line of scrimmage, and then injure one of the 2 Pylon Mighty Blow tackle Skaven Blitzers with a Minotaur Blitz on turn 1. The rats respond with a badly hurt on a rookie Beastman themselves, then cause a turnover by blitzing and fouling the Minotaur and getting sent off. The Chaos move their cage up on turn 2 and injure a Skaven lineman in the process. At the start of their turn 2, the Skaven use their lightning bolt on the ball carrier, and the ball scatters out of the cage that was formed, right next to a lineman, a star player, and a gutter runner. After freeing it up with the star player, the gutter runner picks it up, takes it round the back, and despite the pouring rain, makes a go for it, and not a go for it, just passes it to another gutter runner who uses the reroll to catch it, and runs away down the pitch towards the Chaos end zone. The Chaos move down to threaten that ball carrier, but they've got no one in range to mark it up. Just 2 beastmen ready to blitz if Cranky Goblin makes a mistake. And makes a mistake he does. Possibly trying to set up a stall. He tries to blitz one of the beastmen that is threatening the ball carrier, and with a player that doesn't have block, we roll skull both down into double skulls for the turnover, leaving that ball carrying gutter runner threatened and isolated on turn 4. Chaos take advantage of that, sacking and injuring him, and retrieving the ball with only 6 rats left on the pitch. Getting desperate, the rats follow up with a first action uphill block versus the ball carrying beastman, and get a skull to turn over straight away in their turn 4, leaving no opposition to the Chaos to march down the pitch for the turn 7 touchdown, ending the first half 1-0 up as the rats don't set up for a 1-turn attempt and fail the rainy pickup on their turn 8 anyway. All the knockouts for both teams wake up for the second half, so we have 9 rats facing 10 Chaos players. The rats pick up the ball and run it back to their own end zone to try and get the Chaos to come towards them and hopefully make a hole for rat bullshit to go through. The Chaos team advance, and a turn 10 failed Skaven Blitzer dodge lets them advance even further. They do keep a Mighty Blow Beastman back for defense though. On turn 11, the gutter runners make a break for it, running down the flank. One marks up that aforementioned Mighty Blow Beastman, and the other passes the ball forward into an empty space, try and get some distance on it. That space is conveniently though in range for the Chaos to retrieve it on the next turn. But since the Chaos team don't manage to knock down either of the attacking gutter runners while picking up the ball, the gutter runners are able to dodge round and get the 1 dice block sack and pick it up back themselves on turn 12. The gutter runner that picked up the ball, though, gets surfed on the Chaos turn 12, and with some more removals, the Skaven start turn 13 with 3 players on the pitch. Only one of those on its feet, but that player is the attacking gutter runner, technically in scoring range, despite being surrounded. And this is my elongated play of the game. 2 Skaven turns, 1 Chaos turn. Let's have a watch. So we can see the gutter runner surrounded. The only in this half, he makes 5 3+ dodges in a row. 1 passed with the dodge skill, another passed with the team reroll, but then it fails the final 2+ dodge to freedom. The Chaos respond by retrieving the ball on their turn. Well, they do some blocks first. We'll watch those. I didn't cut them out. So yeah, they wrap up the downed gutter runner in a cage. Go for the Minotaur Blitz, which I think ends in another removal. Yeah, sorry, there were 4 players on the pitch. After this, there's going to be 3. Then they go for the pickup. Well, sorry, I missed a block. Then they go for the pickup. Successful. And to remove any last vestiges of hope for Cranky Goblin, they go for the foul on the prone gutter runner. But shock horror, they roll double 1 for the armor roll, get sent off, and leave a massive gaping wide hole in the cage. Gutter runner with movement 10 runs out, makes the uphill block, and gets 2 pows for the sack. The ball scatters favourably. They make the pickup, and then they make the 2 go for it's for the touchdown. Incredible play. Turn 14 touchdown. 3 players on the pitch. What an amazing 5-player deficit in the rain. Nerf gutter runners. What an amazing series of turns. That leaves 3 players though for the Chaos to win, with 8 players against 5 Skaven players, which they have no problem doing though. Sad for Cranky Goblin, still losing the game after such an amazing play. And the Chaos win 2-1 with a turn 16 touchdown with 4 rerolls left. So, almost all correct predictions this week, just 1 wrong, but it's only a tiny bit wrong, so I think that's a win for me. So we have a look at the standings. So we can see the strong teams pulling ahead. My initial win streak not saving me. Now I'm playing some against the harder teams. We've got the High Barnet Raiders in first place, despite having a admin draw earlier in the season. Closely followed by the Necromantic Patchy Pack team, Lovely Fool, and the Apocalypse of Death, King Kills Chaos, creeping up the table, a force to be reckoned with. They've got some, well, let's say favourable matchups coming up in the games ahead as well, so I would not be surprised to see them in one of the top 2 spots, if not the top spot. Then we've got my team dropping down out the lead, I'm afraid, closely followed by Maiden Maniacs Black Creek Buccaneers at 5-3-1. Then Gimlick and Massacre both on 5-1 and 3. Goria's Warriors and Jurassic Sparks on 3-2 and 4. Ilfra Gangers on 2-1 and 6. And then we've got the Sewer Kings, the Case Black Nightmares, and the High Wound all at 1-2 and 6, having unfortunate seasons there. And last but not least, we've got Cthulhu Collects Wild Beasts 0-0 and 9 at the bottom. So let's have a look at how the teams are doing after this week. So, Lovely Fool's Patchy Pack. Evie Brocken here, the zombie, gets block from his second MVP, but a 5 SPV zombie called Robert died. No other skill ups or injuries on the team. Don't Hurt the Good Boy is got over 100 skill points though, so a definite force to be reckoned with up here. Chaos Black Nightmares. The Minotaur. Breakog the Pain. It's actually Stand Firm hiding behind there. Yep, Stand Firm there. He got that from the MVP, and no injuries for these guys this week, so good for them. The Black Creek Buccaneers. Mate Tabion down here gets guard from 3 completions and a touchdown. Really worked for that this game. Did lots of vanity passes while they were beating me up. Now got 2 dodge guard players. And Bosun Mathlios here has picked up another skill from 2 casualties, but he hasn't picked it up yet. I assume he's going to make the decision before the next game. No skill ups, no injuries for the Ulfragangers. They look at the same. Big prayer to Nuffle here. Diving Tackle Skink gets plus agility from the MVP. There was another source here called Utanging. Utanging. He had block and guard, but he lost a point of strength from an injury and got fired. And there was a rookie skink called Lucius the Eternal that died. Emperor's Chosens. No injuries for them this week, but their new catcher, Speedy Gonzalez, got an MVP and a completion to pick up block. No skill ups for the Wobbies, unfortunate week. One of their Black Hawks, Pelican, who's been replaced by Spot Bill Pelican here. He had block on a Mighty Blow before, has died. My team. Moon Age Daydream. My lineman got the MVP and he picks up Dirty Player. I've been after one of those for a while, but unfortunately my Movement 9 Blitzer is out for the next game. Jurassic Sparks. No skill ups for them, and they have a dead Saurus as well. Carnoslap, the Block Saurus, died this game. Horus Warriors. No skill ups for them, and Varak Breakheads, one of their last rookie Black Hawk, is missing the next game. Highwaymen, no skill ups for them either, I'm afraid. They had a rookie catcher called Tisden, he died, and Richard Turbin II, their thrower, he's missing the next game. Very sparse looking roster here for the Highwaymen. I wonder if Pylon's going to carry on with this team after this season or not. This would definitely put me off. No skill ups, no injuries for the Skaven Skua Kings. Unfortunately, luckily for them, all their injuries this week were badly hurt, as we mentioned before. Apocalypse of Death, their opponents. Lots of skill points, but no skill ups and no injuries for them. And then the Swedish Forest Wolves. No injuries, but Greywind the Ghoul gets block from another touchdown. And Patch, the Flesh Golem, scored a touchdown as well, giving him guard. Good week for them. So let's have a look at the division stats now. So, impact players still pretty much the same. We have the touchdown machine for the Chaos team, scoring all 11 of their touchdowns. We've got the Minotaur that kills a lot on the Apocalypse of Death, and we've got Grey, the Swedish Forest Werewolf. Yep, top scorer is that Beastman that scores a lot. Top blocker, still Grey, 127 blocks. It's absolutely crazy. Only killed 2 players though. We've not had any people beat the 2 kills yet. 19 casualties. Scary, as well as that Minotaur that seems to blitz at every available opportunity for the Apocalypse of Death. And still only 3 serfs. So, then we have a look for the lineup for next week. So we've got the Ulfragangers versus the High Barnet Raiders. I'm going to give this to Lizard Men. They're one of the competing players for the top spot. I don't see the Ulfragangers beating them unless they get extremely lucky. Emperor's Chosen versus the Black Creek Buccaneers. Ooh. Tough one. Might be a bit even, but I think it'll edge towards the Dark Elves, so I'm going to predict them winning this one. The Warbeast versus the Chaos Black Nightmares. Now this is going to be, I think this is going to be a draw. I'm going to predict a 1-1 draw for these guys. I'm going to get even more specific than just a draw. I think it might be a 1-1 draw. Me versus the Patchy Pack. I do not hold my hopes up. I managed to edge the win versus Gimlick with his team, but the Patchy Pack have an even scarier werewolf. I do not fancy my chances at all, so I'm going to say this will be a win for the Necromantic team, definitely. So, the Jurassic Sparks versus the Swedish Explorers Wolves. I think Gimlick's got this. He's got a history of taking down Strength 4 players. I think he's not going to have any trouble. I think it's going to be a Gimlick win here. Apocalypse of Death versus Agoria's Warriors. I'm sorry, Masisali. I think that all the Claw and Mighty Blow on the Chaos team is going to rip your armor to shreds. Yeah, Kinkill's on a roll. I don't think this team's going to stop him. And then finally, we've got the Highwaymen versus the Sewer Kings. Just from the sheer absolute balls that he put out with those amazing turns that I saw today, I'm going to give this one to the Sewer Kings. Don't let me down. I want to see the Skaven win something. Well, you've won a game already, but I want to see you win this one. So, that was week 9. Stay tuned for week 10. I hope everybody has good games. Have a good week, everybody, and see you later.